How many of us feel like we hide our emotions from others? And it's okay if you want to be honest. That's fine. That's what we're here for is honesty. But the thing I do is I eliminate myself and I isolate myself from people when I want to hide who I am and what I represent and everything. And it's not healthy. But those times when I do let people in and they really start to see who I am and like what I am. I start to like resent it almost. I start to not really have like compassion in the conversation anymore. And that's not to say I don't want people to know who I am. I enjoy talking to everyone, almost everyone, but um, I can't enjoy people, too many people knowing about me. Um, I've pushed many people away in my life, and some of it has been for the good, but some of it, there can be regrets there, and you just kind of have to take it to the chin and just move on. But the thing about your life is that you just like you have so many experiences to like let people get to know who you are, and people will meet different versions of you at many different times in your life. you know like you could have had a girlfriend who you were not the nicest to, but now you're a much kinder, gentler person, and that just it's growth, it's development. And you want development. You want to see like where you go in life and what you do and who you become, and that's always important. I know one of my favorite sayings is who you're trying to become is more important than who you once were. And that's true for everything. It's true for everybody, and all aspects of life, and anything that you will do involves growth. Whether you start getting on a routine more, whether you start eating more, whether you start going to the gym more, getting your grades in on time. Everything involves growth, even the bad stuff. I cussed out somebody today, or oh shit, I wasn't nice today, but everything determines a path. It's the butterfly effect. You know, you move a piece here, this will happen. Oh, I don't go here, this will happen. But don't live in fear of that. Don't let the fear of your development hold you back. I know, growing up, I wasn't the most courageous or the bravest, and I didn't really have a lot of self-esteem, like high self-esteem for myself growing up. But now, I'm a lot. I'm a very, not very, but I'm more emotionally intelligent and just aware of like who I am and just like the people around me and who I surround myself with. I know when I was younger, I would be friends with anybody, and I just like to talk to people. I was a social guy, kind of. But it was the attention that I let get to my head, and it gassed me up a little bit, and I never really like saw who I was until kind of like sophomore and junior year of high school, and I had gone through some breakups and just like normal high school stuff. I hadn't gotten accepted by the basketball team. I wasn't really making friends in high school until my senior year. I wasn't really talking to people, but that didn't discourage me from wanting to talk to people, though. Even if you feel isolated or like alone, you're never as alone as you think you are. There's always somebody who's just waiting for you to talk to them, because everybody's nervous, and I figured that out at the end of my senior year of high school last year, when in my history class, everybody was talking to me, everybody, and it was like, where was this at the beginning of the year? Like all it takes, though, is just one little step for just human compassion, and just be nice to everybody. Just develop yourself as a kind human, you know? You don't need to be just like a shitty guy all the time, or like a mean woman, you know? I feel like we could all learn something from each other, you know? And the crazy thing is, this is all our first time living. So even if you fuck up, someone out there has done the same thing. And the worst case scenario is you probably failed the same way as them. Or I guess that would be the best case scenario, you know? Your failures aren't your biggest accolades. You're gonna have your goals in your life, and you're gonna have a nice house and a cool family and everything that loves you, and you can't throw away opportunities like that. You can't just you can't not develop. You can't just sit down and be like, well, this is just who I'm gonna be for the rest of my life. I'm just stuck here. Okay. Let's think about this. You're 16. You just got your driver's license, you just got your first job, and you're just now learning how to save money, and you still have 2 more years of high school, not including the 4 years you're going to do in college, potentially. You're not even 20 yet, and this is how you think you're going to be. Your frontal lobe doesn't fully finish developing till like 24, 25, somewhere around there. So, and that also comes with maturity, and maturity just comes with time, really. I mean, I get people who have gone through stuff and everything, and they had to grow up faster. But even for the people who grew up faster than others, like, I consider myself growing up faster. I just went through a lot in my life, and like I had to grow up over time. But throughout that time, I was still being a kid. I still had childish tendencies because I was still just being a kid. But like recently, I've learned that I can't just like act like I'm in high school all the time and just like fuck around and just like not focus on any goals. Now I had to like really boss up and just like get in on my shit. Like I just had to like really do what I had to, and that's development right there. That's what I'm talking about. You know, for all my young men and women out there who just for my teenagers out there, like young teenagers, the best thing you can do for yourself right now is just focus on you. I'm telling you, experience high school, go to the games, go to prom, go to homecoming, get into a relationship, do stupid shit, run from the cops, something crazy. Go to the lakes during summer. I'm telling you, make memories now, make friends now. But what I mean by focus on yourself is also have tendencies to do things for you. Put yourself first, you know? You can't help what Charles over here is saying about you, or what so and so is saying over here, or you know, because you can't control everybody. You can't control what people think about you. People have thoughts about you and who you are, and that's fine. I know people that don't like me, but does that keep me up at night? I go to sleep in that bed peacefully almost every night. And it doesn't discourage me that I know that there's people out there that don't like me, because I know who I am. I'm me. It's just me, all the time, every day. And what comes along with focusing on yourself is you also have to learn to love yourself, you know? And I get people want to be saved and they want to be in these relationships where they feel so loved and just like cocooned by the other person, but you also have to learn how to take care of yourself, because when that relationship falls and it's just you, who are you? Who are you without the identity of someone else? You know, and I learned that in my freshman year of high school. I had gotten out, or sophomore year, I'd gotten out of a 2-year long relationship, and I just didn't know who I was. I didn't know what to do. And it took me about 6-7 months to finally realize, and a whole summer of just having fun, to realize that, like, you know, I have a life, I have an identity, and there is purpose in who I am, you know? And for my young people who think they're turning older, think to yourself, what have you accomplished and what are you going to accomplish, you know? What determines your maturity? Ask people around you what you can work on, you know? And have them be honest with you. It's okay. Honesty is important. If you can't be honest with your friends, They're not your friends. They are people who just want you around for their benefit and their personal gain. And what are you gaining from it? Nothing. So just remember that you are important, and you should always love yourself. And you should always put yourself forward. First and forward. You know, don't ever let anybody tell you who you are and what you can and can't do. Because those are the people that will fuck your life over. But you know, take everything to the chin. You know, fight everything. Be strong. Be as strong as you think you are. Be stronger than you think you are. You know, you can have all the strength here and there in your arms, but mentally, how are you at night? Who are you thinking about before you go to bed? What drives you to wake up in the morning? What's your purpose? What's your goal? How are you developing? Develop yourself. Learn how to become a man. Learn how to become a young woman. You know? Do these steps now in your teens, so that way when you get to your 20s, you're fine. You're chilling. So have good habits. Don't spend money on food. Oh, I'm hungry? Alright, let me bust something out in the fridge. Oh, I want clothes? Alright, let me make a new outfit I haven't worn before. Oh, these shoes are coming out soon. Let me put them on my Christmas wish list. It's July. Okay, cool. That saves you money. And they're probably going to be cheaper 5 months from now. So, just make sure that everything you do is purposeful. I love y'all. I'll see y'all later.